Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to talk about one of the 8 BASTIEN and SCAPIN ergonomic criteria, and these criteria are actually used for the evaluation of human-computer interfaces, which is explicit control. This criteria is basically divided into two aspects. The first one is user control. This criterion refers to the fact that the user should always be in control of the system processing, whether it is interrupt, cancel, pause, and continue, and so on. And to demonstrate the user control aspect, we're going to go through the installation of a desktop application as an example. I'm going to install this PDF viewer just for the sake of this explanation. So this is the first little interface that appears when you start the installation, and it is basically showing the languages that are available in this application so we can choose from it. Here you can see there are multiple languages that we can choose. I'm just going to proceed with English. I'm going to press OK to proceed the installation. Click next to continue, and here as you can see the agreement is required in this window, so I have to check this. I accept the agreement and then click next. And in this window it is asking us which components should be installed, and here are many options that we can check or uncheck. Here's the languages, here's the help file, languages file, add an Internet Explorer. I'm gonna check all of it and then click next. And in this window we can choose the path and the folder. I'm just gonna stick with that folder and path. Also, as you can see here, this little indicator that if you don't want it to create a start menu folder, we can just check it. I'm gonna uncheck it because I'm okay with that and hit next. And here we can uncheck this or check it. Create a desktop shortcut and PDF extension viewer as a default view for PDF files. I'm just gonna check all of it and hit next. I can check whether I want to install a pro version or a free version. I'm just gonna go with a free version, and in this window we can see all of the options that we have chosen earlier and hit install. And here, even when it is installing, we can cancel the installation by hitting that button here. I'm not gonna cancel it. So this is the last step. The PDF viewer has been installed successfully, and we can hit just finish, and here we are. And as you can see, we could add or remove any functionality and however we wanted to. Basically, we had control over the whole installation process all the way along, and this is why it is called the user control. Okay, and now we're going to see the second aspect, which is explicit user action. When a user goes to a website, he wants to have control over the entire interface. So that means if you are a developer, a web developer, or a desktop application developer or whatever, when you create the interface, you want to create it as much explicit as possible, so the user or the client can have a whole control of the interface. And it is therefore important that the system only performs the operation intended by it, and that the interface offered by the company only performs a given action when the user asks it to do so. We can speak of a system operation for a user action, and that actually means the interface should be in interaction with the user or the client. And we're going to demonstrate that aspect by going through an example as well. And this example will be a website of editing photos and pictures as follows. And here's the website. Be Funky. As I already mentioned, it is a website for photo editing and graphic design, and it is such an easy and explicit interface. As you can see, there are not many chunks here that just this create, learn, support, sign in and get started. There are just few chunks, so the user or the client won't get lost in this interface. I'm just gonna get started by clicking this, and here you can see what would you like to do today. I'm just gonna proceed with edit a photo, and this is the interface that we're gonna play with our image or photo. Just start a new one, and I'm gonna go with this bicycle photo. Okay, as a client or as a user, the first thing that I'll see is this menu right here of these functionalities. And by the way, before continue even further, I'm just gonna mention two of the 8 criteria, which is grouping and guidance. The grouping is grouping a multiple functionalities into one area, like this one right here. The crop, the resize, the rotate, we just all group it into this area. And these are grouped right here: open, save, and batch. And the guidance one is you have to guide the client or the user when he first start using your interface. For me, when I first used this interface, there were actually a pop-up messages that tells me what to do or how to use this application, so I won't get lost in it. And there is actually a life hack you can consider in order to make an easy and explicit interface, which is a picture can tell 1,000 words, or a picture can represent 1,000 words. And the pictures here in this website are these icons, these little icons right here. And as you can see, by this scissor icon, without even writing this text, the user can guess what does this functionality do. It cut or it does something with the scissor. So the icons make things much easier for the client or the user to follow or to understand the functionality of a certain button or certain thing. The same applies here. In this group of functionalities, you can see here there is no text, but I can guess by the icons. This is the full screen, I believe, yes. This is the fit to screen, the zoom out, the zoom in, the reset, and the endo. And this endo, as you already know, when you do something, you can endo it by this little icon right here. And there is no text, as you can see, but we can guess or we can know what does these buttons do, or what's the functionalities of these buttons right here. So the icons makes things much easier to understand or to use. So as a conclusion or a feedback for this interface or this website, it was actually explicit and so easy to use. And even if it's my third or second time of using this website, I already know almost all of its functionalities and all of these things just by the second time. And what makes it so easy and explicit is that the guidance was absolutely so good. They guided me all the way through. I knew all the functionalities. Also, they are actually using a good icons and meaningful ones. So these are the aspects of explicit control. So I hope you guys now have a good understanding what are the two aspects of explicit control, and I'll see you next time.